going on? My name is Koi, and I'm here to share a message from the Magician card. Now, this pick a card is strictly for my Queen of Wands members. For those that don't know, Queen of Wands shares, it's my blog, and it shares spiritual stories and also sprinkles of astrology and tarot. And right now, I'm focusing on sharing my nuggets and just insight on the Major Arcana cards in tarot. Tarot has helped me with my personal development and strengthen my intuition a lot. Not only tarot, other cards as well. And you can read about how and why I'm passionate about cards and how they helped me with my spiritual development on the Queen of Wands blog. If you're interested, I definitely invite you to come to the Queen of Wands Club to share entrepreneur stories and be amongst like-minded people as well. Thank you, y'all, for I'm seeing more subscribers on YouTube. I'm seeing more subscribers on Substack, and I just want to say thank you. I love y'all so much. This is part of the reason why I do what I do, because I love to encourage and I love to engage with other people that are like-minded. So thank you. I also want to let you know that if you're not familiar with the VIP incentives, you guys get to see the artwork. You're definitely helping me out, and you're pushing me up. You're encouraging me. You're giving me the energy to continue to work on my new Oracle deck, and I want to thank you with that. As you can see, you'll be seeing more of some sneak peeks of my artwork, right? And you're always the first to see. And also you get private meetups. I'm hoping we get a little bit more people so we can start having that private meetups. You guys definitely get these private pick a card readings. These are something that are, you know, just more personalized. Pick a cards, if you don't know, actually do help strengthen your intuition by choosing, right, a card, and also deciphering what it is that's really connecting with you and leaving behind what doesn't, right? What doesn't apply, leave aside, right? Or let it fly. I always get that saying mixed up. But also, what else do you guys get? Oh, you guys get discounted personal readings too. Speaking of pick a card, since we have a small group, it may feel like a personal reading, right? But if you have like a particular question or inquiry about your particular situation, I really suggest you get a personal reading. And by being a VIP Queen of Wands member, you can get that at a discounted price, okay? So that's what I have for you right now. And let's see. I think we'll start, okay? So before we start, I just want to just tell you guys to get cozy, right? And before you pick, if you haven't already, I'm just going to click on my singing bowl. And as I do that, I just want you to take deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, okay? So just breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Are you ready? Okay, guys, let's begin. Pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. Okay, pile 1, let's see what's going on. So this is going to be your current situation. Then we're going to talk more about advice, okay? So we have, it's a little mirrored. We have authenticity. I hope you can see it. It's snowy, rainy day right now. And I turned the light on, but I don't know if it's giving. So we have authenticity. We have, why are you procrastinating? Are you overwhelmed, unsure of where to start, or unmotivated? And 2 came out. We have Five of Pentacles and King of Pentacles. Oh, shucks. All right, I know what this is about. Okay, let's move this right here. So the Magician is telling you, because if you haven't checked the message from the Magician, which is in my blog, and it shares tidbit facts about the Magician card, and it just goes into an intuitive message that really shares about what us creative souls are connecting with this Magician card and this archetype, right? Check that out first, because if you don't know the Magician card, you're kind of going to be like, I don't know. But it's still going to fit for a certain situation, I'm sure, because if you landed here, you're definitely intuitive and you're allowing your intuition to guide you. But check on that, okay? Yeah. Okay. So, as we know from the previous card, right, the Magician had a message. But the Magician card is talking about taking action, taking that willpower and turning it in and creating and manifesting something, right? But I think for you, Pile 1, you've been a little bit sluggish. You've been procrastinating a little bit. And I think that you have been all of the above, because a lot of shame is carried with procrastination, right? But from a scientific standpoint and the analysis paralysis, right, is that procrastinating that keeps us stuck in like freeze mode, right? And it's because we are one, two, or all of the above. Overwhelmed, we're unsure where to start, and we're just not motivated. Who's motivated when you are like anxious and frozen, right? I think that there is okay, what's coming up to mind first is sharing your story. I feel that sharing your story, there's a lot of people that have felt ostracized. There's a lot of people that, were poor. Um, I don't want to say poor, but had that poor mentality, but didn't have that much money, right? To do what they wanted to do, and that's messing with their creativity. As well as, there's something else that came. Can you bring it back, Spirit? Um, Sharing their stories, not having enough money, and I wish I could bring it back, but I don't remember. It's messing with your authenticity, though, for sure, y'all. It's messing with your authenticity, because a lot of times because of this, like, money trauma, right? Or low self-esteem, we kind of wander off into um, looking at other people's artwork and wishing that this was yours, right? And I know this is very hard to do in the day and age of Instagram and social media, right? But a lot of you guys have been going through an understanding of your self-worth, your authenticity, right? How your creativity is special, right? It's one unique to oneself. You can be told to paint a rose on orange, right? And each rose is still going to look different. It may look similar, but it's still going to look different, because why? Because you are unique, right? Just like the saying goes, great minds think alike. They definitely do. They definitely do. And I remember in school, graphic design school, a few times we got told to do homework, and we it would be like one or two kids, maybe even three, but definitely like two kids that had the same freaking idea. It didn't come out the same, but it had the same idea. And it was almost like, were you guys talking before you did this? No, they weren't, because that's how intuition works. That's how universal creative consciousness works, okay? And a lot of times we really, as artists, right, as creatives, we have to stop saying like, oh, well, they stole my idea. At the end of the day, if it's your idea, you can do it again, and it's always going to be unique to you. Now, going back to this, right, the creative trauma, or the self-esteem trauma, the money trauma, maybe that did happen to you, and it happened repetitively, right? It made you feel like diminishing your worth, right? That, I need to tell you that that more than likely is a soul lesson that you need to work through so you can go on the other side of the perspective and see how can't nobody touch your shit, your ideas, because you are unique to you. You know, you have your own spirit guides that are sharing and guiding you with the ideas and the creations, right? So, like, no, X that out, work through that, right? Because you're trying to gain this energy of investing in yourself, you know, literally, and what's the other term? Literally and figuratively. Okay. I also think that too, um, because of this analysis paralysis or imposter syndrome that you've been having, you haven't been able to meet the right people that you really understand you. And I feel that 1,000%. But, you know, I had to hear it a few times, but it was a quote where they were saying that how can your soul tribe find you if you're not truly being yourself? And it hit me one of these days where it was just like, I am hiding parts of myself. That's how I'm being unauthentic. You know, I am keeping it real, but because I had this habit, right, or this normality of well, this person don't understand me, or I can't say this in this group because I know they're not going to say that, or it's going to be too controversial. So it was dimming my light, right? And because I was so used to dimming my light, I didn't allow myself to shine in spaces that I felt safe, like recording here where no one's around me, right? So there's a need to understand authenticity is not necessarily not keeping it real, but it's being unauthentic to who you truly are from the soul. And if you want like-minded people, you need to share that light with people that you feel comfortable sharing or being comfortable within yourself. And I believe right now you're working through that, right? Because again, maybe you don't have enough money, right? And you're not sharing certain things because you think that you can't because you don't have enough money. There's a mindset here that is like, let's work through this here. Um, oh, I'm also getting to how some of you maybe aren't understanding how powerful your creativity is because, you know, a creator can, just like the magician, turn nothing into something. And you can create artwork from pennies, right? Literally. You can create artwork from scraps of paper, old materials. There's a lot of things that you can do once you start conjuring up that energy, shaking up that sacral chakra, and really working through the procrastination. But I think right now, you're overwhelmed from a lot of the things that didn't feel good from probably childhood, right? Or just this ostracization of feeling misunderstood. And then it's stopping you from not knowing where to start. It's stopping you from being motivated because you're telling yourself or you're hearing those voices in your head from people or groups that just didn't understand you. And I really want you to work forward, work towards being that King of Pentacles. And King of Pentacles is the king, no matter what gender, right? Because they understand their self-worth. With understanding their self-worth, they attract monetary value, right? They attract, because your self-worth goes hand in hand to your belief system, how you believe and look at yourself, the messages that you believe about yourself, and what you deem valuable. We also have unconscious things that we deem valuable at times because we grew up. For those astrology heads, the second house is very much where something that you can kind of understand, like, okay, this is where you're thinking about your values, especially unconscious, because we grew up to think this from our parents of what is valuable, right? And then we hold on to this until we actually unpack that and think like, okay, I don't really think this is valuable anymore. For example, school, right? My parents were big on education in school. Um, I don't like school. I hate school, right? But when I say hate school, I hate, oh, that's such a strong word, but I really despise the institution of school. It didn't work well with me, because I was a free spirit and a free mind. And it was boring as heck because it made me unmotivated with the things that I was learning. And if I was in a school that was more aligned to my soul and my spirit and creating, because I'm such a creative by nature, I'm left-handed. Like, there's so many things about me that is creative, right? That it kind of stemmed away from my analytical mind. Where is that truck? Okay. It's snowing, y'all. And it's getting pretty nasty. But well, as I got older, I started to value learning because it was things that I wanted to learn, not the crap that school was teaching me about learning that I knew from a young age that I really didn't need to know all this stuff, right? But also, I started realizing too that you still need balance. Logic and creativity, or logic and intuition, it needs to balance. Because if you're way into the intuitive, you're kind of out there and being mad spacey, you're not grounded. And if you're way analytical, you're too grounded and you're not opening up to the spiritual essence of you, right? So, going back to you, Palawan, find some energy, find some focus on value, right? Understanding your own value and understanding, oh, wait, this is two? Okay. So I have these cards, which I love. Yay! This is about your career and finding success in entrepreneurship. So we have community. Look at this. I love when Spirit does this. We have community. 65 breaks down to 11. Anybody, if you're into numbers? Wait, what? And 11? Your story. I love how this worked out. This is what I'm talking about. I love it. And I get hyped every time. Can y'all see? Okay. This is how I hope I can lighten this in my editing. Anyway, the wounds you carry may not always be your fault, but it's always your responsibility to heal them. A big trash can just went by, so I'm going to say it again. The wounds you carry may not always be your fault, but it is always your responsibility to heal them. Okay? And then we also have transition. Yes. So transition during this time, I don't know if you may work with the moon. This number is perfect for 13 because 13 is a very intuitive feminine number, if I believe. And it does break down to 4, which is not a feminine number. But anyway, I think from what I've read before, there are 13 moon cycles or 13 full moons in a year. I could be wrong. Check. Let me know. Comment below. But if you're a moon child, right? Someone that loves moon, maybe work with the moon cycles, the new moon or the full moon. You can learn more about the new moon cycles if you're in the Queen of Wands, which I feel that you are because you're watching this privately, unless, I don't know, maybe I made this public. But anyway, right now it's private to the Queen of Wands Club. And each month I talk about the new moon cycle because I feel that it's true, and the new moon allows us to think about new things. I wouldn't say manifest new things. Maybe it can, but me and the way that I use the new moon is really about the dark side of the moon. And darkness is tapping into our reflection, tapping into ourselves, reflecting first on what needs to be released and removed so then you can manifest with more ease and grace. And calcite. Maybe there's, some type of calcite energy crystal that you like to work with. Red calcite, green calcite, pink calcite. There's all types of color calcites. But this transition is going to do you justice. It may not feel good right now, but it's going to do you justice. And I feel like this is a lot with speaking, your throat chakra. This is the speaking, promoting icon that they have here. And telling your story. Let's read these first, and then I'm going to go into telling your story, okay? Your story. The point of your story isn't to explain the past, but to paint a compelling vision of your future. Tell the pure truth isn't usually as effective. So I think that this could be in your own perspective, because maybe you do want to tell the pure truth, right? But I think here they're talking about the pure truth is you don't have to tell everything. You don't have to tell every nook and cranny of you went to the store at 12 o'clock and you met Tom and he punched you in the face, and then you went home crying and you were never to get your soda pop. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to say that, but you could maybe just say, like, I remember this kid that hurt me really bad. That's still telling your truth, but it's not the pure truth, I guess, as they're saying, or it's not like every nook and cranny. And honestly, I feel like tell the truth to yourself first, right? Tell yourself what you believe in the present moment and what you're releasing, because those are different levels and layers and perspectives of your truth too. And write it out. You may not be comfortable speaking, right? You may not be comfortable speaking these things, but when you speak it to yourself, you'll know what you feel comfortable speaking to, right? And if you work with affirmations too, that also helps you, because over time, because time heals all, over time, you'll be able to feel comfortable maybe speaking about it, right? And also, as a balanced throat chakra, you'll be able to know when the best time is to share this, right? Because everything isn't for everybody, and sometimes it's not a good time to say something, you know. I've been working on that myself. But sometimes it's not a good time to keep it real with people, right? And tell them about themselves. Or sometimes it's not a good time to talk about yourself either, right? It's a discerning mechanism that you learn and you grow with strengthening your intuition and community. Being around people that don't keep triggering that wound that you have, right? Because some people, i.e. family, can do that, right? And family doesn't necessarily have to be blood. Again, your family can also be your soul family, right? A community of people that are feeling resonant to you, that are like family. So this says, as the young generations increasingly desire connection and care about activism, a cornerstone for many businesses have become building communities around their brands. Yes, doing so yields many benefits, including customer loyalty, referrals, and volunteer labor. So as you can see, this is really resonant to the entrepreneur or someone that has a business. And if you can see the questions, you can write those down and journal about them or whatnot. But I feel for pile one, there's something here that is about your story that someone is yearning to hear, to be inspired about. And you might be a little bit feeling a little stagnant about that, right? But I can truly say that this one is going to propel your transition into connecting with your soul tribe, right? In your community that gets you, and probably even understand feeling ostracized. I keep saying that word, but I really feel like it's a word of power, because I understand that word. It's a powerful word. And a lot of times people might be like, oh, you're overreacting to that. Like, no, but a lot of times you do feel alone in a group full of people because you're so different, or because because sometimes it's like, I'm really not that different, but you're placed in a group of people that you are different to. You're placed in a town that you grew up that you are really different to. And sometimes our coping mechanism to that energy and that trigger was to fit in any way, shape, or form. Maybe people pleasing. It may be just dimming your light. And the universe right now is asking you to shine that light. And you may not have to speak it right away, but I do think that for pile one, maybe writing, maybe talking into a recorder, um, maybe doing videos that you don't post publicly yet, but you might like work through that, some type of visual creation that can really help you heal yourself first and feel comfortable and confident about sharing that story. And those pieces of work that you created can then be come together and create, right? And share parts of your story in a very visual way, a very musical, audio way, right? Or performing way. There's visual arts and performing arts, right? And through the um, healing arts and through the magical arts, you're talking to and sharing your spirit in that light, and that's definitely going to help you grow spiritually in so many ways, because when you have spiritual wellness, you also have emotional wellness, mental wellness, and physical wellness. It's so many layers, so many energy bodies that we have within our aura. But first and foremost, we need to heal on a spiritual wellness vibe. And that's what I love doing. That's what I'm here for. And that is your message, Pile One. So thank you for showing up, Pile One. Check the links below. If anything came up for you during this message that you might think, hey, I kind of want a personal reading. Guess what? You get a discounted reading. So you can click the link below. When you click what is it called? My Soul Called Crowdfund, that will lead you to be able to book a personal reading. Or if you just want to email me, just say, hey, hey, I'd like a personal reading. I'm in the Queen of Wands VIP, and we'll talk further, okay? Check out more from me with my creative process. And I thank you in advance for just supporting me in this way, because it really helps me. And I'm so ecstatic that I'm connecting with a community of like-minded people as well. So I thank you. Check out more artwork, and yeah, we'll get into it. Peace. Let's go to pile two. Okay, pile two. Let's see. So we have your current situation, and then we have some further advice for you, okay? So let's see. We got the shadow. Okay. We got the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. And then we have, if you can paint a picture. Oh, I'm all over the place. If you can paint a picture about how you feel right now, what would it look like? So pile two, you may be painters. I don't know. I kind of feel like this is the visual artist up in here. Or you just have a strong visual, like you may learn very visual as well. What is this shadow talking about? So let's go into this card here. We have Pentacles, like pile one. And Nine of Pentacles is about self-efficiency. As you can see too, right? Can you see it? She's working in a garden, right? And she's looking back. There's a bird on top of her head. I think that, for me, I'm going to say this bird symbolizes that there's a messenger with her. There's intuition, right? That helped her build this garden, whether it be literally or figuratively. And this garden can be grown, right? Because it soothed her soul. And the number 9 also is about coming close to an ending, accumulating things. It's reminding me of Virgo and reaching harvest, the energy of fall, right? Where all of your crops, all the things that you've been learning, putting seeds in, literally, figuratively, are now coming to harvest, right? And sometimes if your circadians isn't on that, then that's cool. But maybe it is. And fall may be the energy of you receiving a lot of abundance. Me personally, I've recognized over the years, fall is a lot of when a lot of like death and things are dying, coming to an end for me. And I actually start new things right in the winter. Maybe not all, but I think that the inception of it comes into play. I'm laughing because there's some things that I'm not going to share. It's coming to my mind, but shadow. We have three, which in the moon as well, cycles. Let's get some clarification cards out. I want to clarify this. Okay. So I kind of feel like for you, Pyle, too, that there's been some like harsh truths as well as some like anxiety. Now, I don't know, for some of you, maybe somebody actually like kind of told you like, oh, you won't be good enough. And that's a lie, right? For others of you, maybe, because I have two queens here, that might mean that there's another person. But maybe, right? You already started your business. You started something, a passion project or a business, and now you're trying to grow it, but you feel anxious on taking that next level, that next step. And the next step to Nine of Pentacles is actually Ten of Pentacles, which is really, really thriving and feeling fulfilled within your legacy. Um, uh, it's also about family, but it's also about um, an end of a cycle that, it's like I'm seeing the Ace of Cups where like you have a full cup. Because after that would be the new start, which would be the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new start, or also something, inception. But I think here that it's reminding me of like kind of being afraid to take that leap of faith and really start something new. Maybe there's a lot of shadow work that needs to be done here, right? So you can understand, this just came into my mind. Tapping into your intuition is also shadow work. Tapping into your imagination is also shadow work. You know why? Because a lot of times people deem shadow work of working through the negative energies that are like yucky and don't feel good, right? But working with dark energy also means the unknown, and the unknown can be your imagination, because your imagination is very goes hand in hand with your intuition, but intuition is more receptors from spirit team, spirit guides. Your intuition is something, your imagination is something from memory or something from your own experiences, whether it be from past lives or whether it be from if you believe in that stuff, but I do. But it can be multidimensional, I'll say. Remembrances. It's like your own database, not like collective universal database. But what do I know? It could be that you're tapping into the creative consciousness as well when you tap into your imagination. I don't know, but like I said, it goes hand in hand. It's a thin line between that. So it's also the unknown because it hasn't materialized yet. And we're talking about Pentacles here, Queen of Pentacles, where it's like, okay, um, there's something here, because we also have a 9. And I think that there's a mindset shift that needs to be made, or a quantum leap that needs to be taken here, so you can actually step into this Queen of Pentacles, and really feel good about what you have worked on. One thing that you can do that feels good about what you worked on is, sorry for the noise, y'all. Again, it's snowing outside and someone's shoveling now. But doing the work, I feel that there comes a point where you've done a lot of work, right? And if you're not really feeling good about that, ask yourself, what can I celebrate that I've done? What are some good things that I've learned along this journey? Because a lot of times we forget to celebrate our the small things that we've achieved, because we're looking for these big blessings or big manifestations that we're trying to achieve. But just like that intro song, dreams come a long way. And I love that song because I feel like they're talking about big dreams. Big dreams that we may be carrying from our ancestors on our back that we may not even know until we accomplish certain milestones. And certain milestones can be small or big, but you really won't be that conscious or aware of it until you actually do reflect and celebrate that you do have the power to bring joy into this journey of life that we call. So we have here, the best don't stick around when you treat them poorly. Only the desperate do, right? This is like very sacral energy. We have Mercury, which is cognizance, and Emerald. And then we have two again. This is interesting. So we have 85 saying no. And we have target market. Okay. It's becoming clearer now. So, is this in camera? Not really. Okay. So, like I was saying, talking to yourself or the thoughts from other people, Mercury is how we perceive things. It's our intellect and all that jazz. I would love for you to check out where your Mercury placement is in your birth chart if you're into that, because that can actually help you understand a little bit more, right? So I'm gonna give you an example. My Mercury is in Cancer. So there's a lot of intuitive vibes. There's a lot of healing vibes, right? And there's a lot of what else does Cancer do? I don't know. Go look it up. I don't know. I don't feel like talking about that right now. I want to focus on this because the best don't stick around when you treat them poorly. There may be some like people pleasing and saying no. You know, you don't have to say yes to everything that is makes you $1, right? Because all money ain't good money, right? Because that's an energy exchange, and if that person ain't on the same vibe as you, especially if you're very sensitive, highly sensitive person, empath, if you resonate with those terms, those labels, um, working with certain people can get you jammed up. And if they're not on the same level as you, so let's read saying no. Giving a yes may feel good, but is also a hidden no to potential better opportunities. Be assertive in creating and enforcing your boundaries. You can help others when you can't help others when your cup is empty. Just like I was saying, filling your cup in Ace of Cups, right? When asked, pause and check in with yourself before responding. And if you can see any of these journal prompts, well, come on. You can pause for the cause, okay? And I think that with the shadow, you may have been saying yes to a lot of things, right? I think also too, you're not looking at how much you've grown, how much work you've put in already. And I think you really need to celebrate that more. It may not be exactly what you wanted, but it still is, because you got a lot of work. With a lot of work comes a lot of experience, and it can just be your own self experience, your own stories from the journey of your own, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be. I've taken so many lessons. Remember, I don't know, what part did I talk about school? It could have been one, but I couldn't stand school, right? I didn't want to learn much of anything. But when I started thinking about my entrepreneurship, and it just felt so mission driven, it felt like I needed to do this. I had to learn stuff because there was no one around for me. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have parents that knew about business. I just didn't have certain people, especially that resonated and aligned with what I needed on a soul level. I didn't have that. So I had to learn new things. And I studied so much, and to the point where it was like, what do I do with this information? It's time to share, hun. You know a lot. And it's time to celebrate what you know. Just because you may have not been around the right people, right? Just because what you were trying to manifest may not have formed in the physical, a lot of other things have manifested from these experiences, though. I know that. So look at the way that you talk to yourself. Look at some of the things that you believe about yourself. Um, do you believe those things that people said about you? No. If you do, ask yourself why, right? And are you speaking to the right crew? Because for a long time, I was not speaking for the right people too. Target market was so important to me. And it was so crazy because, like, I know about building brands, but when it came to my own, it was like, duh, I don't know. And I would ask certain people about target audience, and they're like, well, yes and no. They meant yes and no, because if you're trying to niche things, and I like to talk and work with niches because niche is what makes your uniqueness stand out. A personal brand versus a big corporation brand is totally different. It's totally different. And you're going to need to know your target audience with branding. I do. But when you have like a business that serves like necessity needs, right? Like, let's say you have a business that sells pads, right? Tampax, for instance. People know that women are always going to need something sanitary for their that time of the week. But we've been getting new things coming into factor, right? And people are building new brands around that target audience, right? Women, of course, that bleed, right? But also just changing the game. Like, let's not do Tampax because it may be not only toxic to our body but also to Mother Earth, right? You know, tomato. And maybe you're tapping into those conscious buyers. That's a target audience. Let's read. Your target market has specific needs that will inform what kind of marketing content you should make, how to present it, and where to go. Go deep. It helps to imagine speaking to one specific person. And this goes back to imagination, like I was saying. There is a harsh truth here. And your shadow may have revealed it, right? But sorting through the shadow is tricky because the shadow also lies. It's a double entendre. It's a total sword, right? That has 2 points on the end. But you have to understand it. Like, is this my truth? There's something that, like, another example, and I'm gonna let you guys go. If people have called you fat your whole life, right? You have to look at this shadow and say, am I fat? Do I believe that I am fat? Right? Does fat mean overweight? You got to break it down. And if you do believe that you're fat, you better love every nook and cranny of that fatness. Because if you don't really shine light on your shadows, it becomes a trigger that is unconscious and starts rearing its ugly head at other things that we don't need when we're trying to create things, okay? Because the shadow will definitely siphon what you're trying to create, or it can give you energy to create something new. You know, maybe now that you shine light on that, maybe you're like, you know what, I am fat and I'm going to love all the fatness about me, right? Whether I work out or not. Maybe that idea sparks that and you start creating that, and that energy serves that, you know, because creation does start from the dark. It just does. The inception. Let there be light, it said, because it was dark. So don't be around certain people because they are dampening your things. Recognize your self-worth by celebrating what you have already created, what you've already grew, right? And don't work off despair. Work off um, abundance. Work off what would be the opposite of despair? Self-love. Abundance, it is knowing, because despair is kind of like, I don't know if I have enough, and abundance is, I know I have enough, right? um I know that I'm worthy, and I know what I know, and I know that other people want to share that. So this is like the confidence pile, right? And not people pleasing, checking those shadows and checking how that's creating things, because a lot of times we are creating things that we may not want because of the unconscious shadow, right? But when you can be aware of the shadow, maybe it can fuel your energy towards passion, or maybe it's just something that you can shed and dead and let go. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile two. Thank you very much. Keep checking in on the artwork that I'm creating. I really appreciate you guys coming forward. I hope we can get more people so we can start doing these private lessons, right? Well, maybe lessons. I meant to say private sessions, meetups, but lessons too. And you know, if this sparked anything in your mind that you want to discover a little bit deeper, um, you have the opportunity to receive discounted personal readings. So how you do that is clicking the link below, emailing me and saying, hey, I'm in the Queen of Wands, I'm a VIP member, I want a personal reading. Or you can actually click the link that says, what does it say? My Soul Called Crowdfund. And you can go in there and get a reading. Okay. So that's all I have for you, pile two. Let's move to pile three. Ooh. All right, pile three. What's going on? What's going on? All right. So this is what's going on with you right now, which we're about to discover, and this is going to tap into a little bit more of advice. Okay, let's go. Mm. Mm-hmm. Dream. Oh, Nine of Swords. What's going on? Find gratitude in this moment. So pile three, you might want to watch pile two. But this, I feel like all of them kind of accumulated onto this. I'm going to have to break this down a little bit more. But let's just look at this before I start pulling clarifications. Pile three, you are a dreamer for one. And speaking of dreamers, what was I watching? I don't know what I was watching, but this girl was talking about like, oh, dreamers, nobody needs them. And was it Abbott School? And I know that's not what it's called. School element, I don't know, Abbott Elementary. She said dreamers, without dreamers, um, there wouldn't be a world to create things. I kind of probably chopped that up, but you get the gist of it. Um, you know, dreams are the inception of your intuition. No, dreams are the inception of your imagination. I feel that. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm getting tongue tied with intuition and imagination today because they are slightly different. And you have an idea, right? And in order working with the magic card, You have to start working with the will energy, the power to create. The conjuring of that idea brings it with the imagination. But I kind of think that you've been very nervous about doing that. And it's almost like I'm hearing like, I don't know where to start, or I can't do this. I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. You do have. You do have. You always have when there's something to create. You really do. And a lot of times you don't see that is because you're trying to um, use certain tools that someone told you to use, or something that you think is the right tool. But there's a lot of ways you can use tools. You know what I mean? If you really, really, really need that tool because you don't know what else to substitute that tool for, you got to imagine a little bit more. You got to work with the imagination and dream a little bit more so you can actually start understanding what it is that you need to create this stuff. All right. Is there anything else too? I just keep feeling and hearing that you're in lack. There may be a really big dream that you have going on. Let's clarify this. What is this dream, first of all? Ten of Swords. Some of you may have tried to create what you were dreaming and it didn't work out before. And that's why you have this anxiety. Let's get more cards to clarify this. Oh, wow. I did not want all those cards, but we'll take them. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's leave it this way. Because I feel that reverse, you don't have it yet. You don't have that pentacle yet. And your anxiety, your nervousness is really causing you. Is this in? Yeah. Is really causing you to not receive what you're trying to create. It's keeping you in these cycles. Seven of Pentacles is stagnant energy. It's looking, the original card is like a pause. It's looking at what you created, but you may need to work through it again. Because we have this and this. I kind of feel like for you guys, this is, I had to look for a second. We're missing 6 because we have 5, no 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 6 of Swords is moving away, right? 6 of Pentacles is giving and receiving. And I think that there's like this wound. This is very interesting how the Magician card is talking about creative wounds. You have done some work here and you have created something that was towards your dreams, but it didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. And because you are in the energy of lack at this moment, or maybe not, maybe you are finding gratitude, but needless to say, working with the energy of gratitude is helping you tap in, balance the energy of love. It's tapping into the heart chakra. It's balancing the love that needs to be shared and the love that needs to be received. Sometimes we share our love with people that do not deserve it. Sometimes we share our love with people that are super hungry for love and it drains you dry. Because they probably couldn't give you that love because they are in love deficit, you know. And gratitude helps you be present with your emotions right now. And it helps you be present with your emotions right now, and it helps you actually to lift the vibes higher, right? Wherever your energy is at, it helps raise your vibes. So like if you're feeling defeated by other people, then you might work with gratitude and start realizing, hey, you just cut some cords from people that were draining you. So actually, you actually are the warrior, not the defeated person, right? But I kind of do think that you may be bogged down by some energy here. But looking at the Ten of Swords, it's going to end. It's going to end, but you need to understand and be grateful for what you already have right now. see the things that you have at this moment. And maybe you can use those things that you have and create them. Because like I was saying before, you being in the magician, they can create anything. They can create something from a piece of lint. Okay? So it's like, I'm grateful that I have this piece of lint. Keep moving into the gratitude. You might wind up making a whole daggone picture with lint. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends. You have the power to create what you need to receive this abundance, this tangible item, whatever it is that you're creating. But there's a need for you to get out of this cycle of stagnant energy, of this energy of feeling like you don't have, or you don't have what it takes, because the dream that you're yes, let's talk about the dream that you're envisioning, right, may not necessarily be the dream that is, should I say, for you. Here's why, because you may dream this, right, from your imagination, but sometimes these dreams do kind of steer off somewhere else. And it's kind of like reminding me of what Powell one, I think I said, how sometimes you have this energy of people constantly stealing your ideas, right? Because how much work were you putting into those ideas? Or were you sitting here like this, right? In order to create, you do need the willpower to actually take action. And just because someone stole your stuff doesn't mean that you can't create it again or recreate something new, right? And sometimes with dreams, you have to be pliable, right? You have to be receptive and open to receive more on what it is that you need to do, because things will shift a little bit. Your dreams may not be exactly how you picture it. I'm sorry for those type of people that are very visual, because sometimes you see something and it's like, boom, this is exactly what I need. But for some way, shape, or form, things change. I don't know. I'm not spirit. I'm not the all divine being that is orchestrating this life. But sometimes things do change. And when you change, right, it might be a small change, it might be a big change. But you don't know that it's something else that's pulling you. Your dreams aren't linear. Reaching those dreams, those goals aren't linear. It won't be. But you might reach it at another time in a whole new way. But if you trust and have gratitude, you'll remember and be like, this is what I dreamed of. This is more than I imagined. You know, so being open and receptive to dreaming more, right? Being open and receptive, yes, like I was saying in the beginning. Sometimes you think you need, I have to have this selenite wand. No, you don't. You're gonna have a different wand, right? Let's see. Let's go more with the advice here. Is this two? Because we had two so much. We have copyright. Interesting. I'm about to talk about this. Copyright, legal. We have loving it. There's no need to be perfect to inspire others. Let others get inspired by how you deal with your imperfections. And then we have deep knowing, sacral chakra. I said something about the sacral chakra before, didn't I? I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said. So I'm going to leave this here, actually. So let's talk about copyright first while it's in my fresh mind. If you are one of those people that keep getting things stolen from your ideas, right? You need to start looking about legal stuff. Some people be so lazy, and I am going to use that word because I really don't like that word, but I've seen some artists and creative people that are like, oh, I really don't feel like taking time to copyright or do legal stuff. You won't be saying that if you come across somebody stealing your shit and making a lot of money off of it. Take time to understand that. It's one thing when someone steals your stuff, right? Because sometimes karma whips right around and they don't take off and do anything. You can't sue nobody for taking your stuff if they're not making money off of it, for one. And if they're not making that much money off of it, would you really want to do it? quick thing I want to tell you about. In my first business, it was about sneakerheads, and I made an image of something. It felt really good, and it was this deep knowing to keep going. I'm not doing that right now, right? But because of my knowledge, a little bit of knowledge, because I don't have a whole bunch, but I knew I need to copyright this, right? Um, and there's other forms of copyright, right? There's trademarks. There's what is it also called when you have like a formula? A tag is on the tip of my tongue. What is it called, y'all? Well, I can't say it. Let me keep going. Anyway, um, I was walking in New York City, and LeBron James had this image on the billboard that was very similar to my shit, y'all. I was like, what? I was throwing up hands because I have had stuff stolen from me before. And I was around a lot of people that seemed very like conniving, but I was very protected. Thank you. I was so protected. And that's the thing though. Sometimes spirit will protect you. But in this earthly realm, you need to protect your shit too. You got to take action to protect your things that you create, right? If you have a child, are you just going to be like, oh, spirit got him? Not all the time. You're going to protect physically, right? Figuratively, going to protect them. I mean, literally, excuse me, going to protect them. And what I'm trying to say is, I remember calling somebody that was an intellectual lawyer, and he gave me some good advice. Well, he said how certain things can go. And he did ask me, is it like a carbon copy of exactly how it looked? And I was like, no, but it looks very similar. And he said, well, if it looks very similar, sometimes just because it's like the inception or the intention of what you were creating, sometimes you can prove them wrong, sometimes you can't. And cases like that cost a lot of money. And he kind of like discouraged me, but needless to say, it's like, I left with the learning of, are these people making buku money off your stuff? Nike, a big corporation, yeah, they are making big buku money off my stuff, right? But I couldn't really prove that it was like exactly like mine, because it wasn't exactly. It was a concept, because I made my face out of sneakers and I formed it into like a face. They did the same thing, but with his LeBron sneakers. So, and I didn't see that anywhere until that damn day in New York City. But I had my stuff copywritten, which was one thing that was good. And long story short, if you're that type of person that have repetitively going through the same cycles of creating something and people taking your stuff, one, are they making money off of it? And two, what is stopping you from creating something else or doing it better than them? Because they don't know. It wasn't a gift. It wasn't given to them like it was given to you. They stole it. So let's read copyright. Copyright is a form of automatic protection of creative work, usually lasting 50 to 100 years. Research for more details on what is copyrightable. I guess some things aren't copyrightable, right? Like I'm saying, forms of copyright is, why can't I say that word? Like when you have a invention, there's a certain type of copyright, but it's called something else. I really can't say it, but I know it. Then use a symbol alongside the year of creation to better protect the intellectual property. I love it. And if you want to pause, you can see the words for this. Okay? So I do feel that there's a need for you to protect your stuff. There's a need for you to be mindful of what you say to certain people. If you haven't really created something tangible yet and it's still in the idea form, I wouldn't share it with that many people. I wouldn't share it with anybody, honestly. But if you trust somebody, you can share it with them. But like you have to start having like actual things, because old man's copyright is that you like mail it to yourself, right? And they did that because it was something that was tangible, and it was something that you knew that was okay. I created this, I have this, and it was almost like you signed it, you know. But sometimes people can redo someone's signature, you know. People sometimes go extreme measures to be a freaking cheater. But there's ways to protect yourself spiritually and physically, and there's a need for you to protect your dreams. Don't go just out here willy-nillying and saying, you know, I'd love to dream about blah blah blah, and then still being around those people that be stealing your stuff too. Don't do that. Do not do that. Protect your shit, okay? As Wu-Tang says, protect your neck. Stop saying stuff. Let's talk about the throat chakra. Protect your neck. Right? And share what inspires. You can still be an inspiring person. I inspire people all the damn time. I do give away ideas, but I've made it my living. I've worked to do stuff like this. And certain stuff I am not going to be sharing with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to reveal that until a certain time, you know, but I'm not sharing it because I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting my ideas. And it's just a deep knowing. When you start knowing that and protecting your sacral chakra, right? Maybe some of you want to use sunstone. You start realizing, okay, I'm around swiper, no swiping people. I'm around siphoning energy, and I need to know how to maneuver with those type of things, because maybe the one day you're working with people, right? And you have to stand up and give a 1 minute, what is that, presentation about your business, right? One day maybe you're going to be asking people for investments. You have to have your shit in order before you start speaking your dreams. Because when you start asking for help with those dreams, sometimes the universe isn't going to share those people with you until you have your stuff correct in order. Because the universe doesn't want to see you in harm or feeling like this, right? So have gratitude, right? I have gratitude for that moment that I still have my copywritten images, right? I still can use my stuff. I'm grateful for the experience that I had from creating that stuff too. And I'm grateful that they really didn't carbon copy my stuff, because I don't know where I would have got that money from to get a lawyer. I just want to have some giggles. So that's my message. Well, that's the magician's message from me to you about pile 3. It's really about protecting your creations. Don't be out here, you know, sharing your dreams with every and anybody, because sometimes stuff like that does happen. But if you continue to work and gather physical items of your stuff, right, that is proven, like files and stuff like that, and you go the extra mile to copyright it, right? Because that's really what copywriting and trademarking, and for some odd reason I can't remember what it is. Oh, I know what it is, y'all. Patenting your inventions, right? Yes, finally. Because it was like, is it a P out now? Anyway, I don't know what's going on. Spirit, continue guiding me through this message. That's really what it's about. It's having a file on record that you have your stuff, and you know, unfortunately you have to pay to do this and that, but these are the steps, you know, that it takes to protect yourself, because when you're dealing with the judicial system, that's what they ask for. So if you're going to go to sue somebody, they're going to ask you, well, is it copywritten, you know? And it's going to look better in court that you have a copyright, that you have a trademark, you know, that you have a patent, instead of some stuff that, you know, is a file or this and that, because the file can be from anywhere, right? It may help you, the file, having that stuff, but the copyright is the upper echelon of protecting your stuff and saying, okay, this is what I have. So, protect your aura, protect your energy, protect your dreams, and protect your creations. That's what the magician is telling you right now. And, um, work on gratitude, work on letting go of things that happened in the past, and really switch it around and celebrate what you have at this moment, be present with, and open up your heart to gratitude, and so you can raise your vibes and really step into this next level of wherever you're at in your creation. Okay, so that's my message for you, pile 3. I thank you so much for you listening and joining the VIP section of the Queen of Wands Club. I can't wait to have more people in here so we can start doing our private meetups, right? Um, there's yet to come. I thank you for just encouraging me and being a part of my fool's journey um, of creating my new Oracle deck and processing my creativity and really showing what it is to process creativity. Thank you, magician card. No, seriously. If this message in um, if the message sparked anything within you, and you want a personal reading, you can definitely email me by checking the links below. My email message, you can just be like, hey, I want a personal reading. I'm a VIP member. Or you can click the link that says My Soul Called Crowdfund, and you can get your discounted reading there. Okay? So much love to you. I am excited to go forward with the next energy of the High Priestess. Let's get to it. Let's do this. And let's create. Thanks. Peace and love, y'all. Bye.